And we're back. This is Ken, and I make comics. Welcome to my nightmare. Starting out with a little video. Oh, hello. You caught me drawing. Um, Started doing a dragon, and it did not work out. So if you saw my other video and I deleted it, oopsie. Um, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm trying to do a little live thing here because I want to practice my live drawing while I'm still home. I had another show canceled because of COVID, and so I'm keeping my stuff tight because we are working on some new big things for 2022, and I want to be live as much as I can. Also, these videos are going out with the art for my Kickstarter. Like when I do a sketch cover and I get to send one out, I have a video to go with it. You can see your art being created. So speaking of Kickstarters, I have a new Kickstarter, and it's called Hatched, an illustrated daydream. In a nutshell, it is a sketchbook project featuring an assortment of different artwork that I have had over the years that's been hasn't been published mostly, or hasn't been in print. You might have seen it online or something. Some of it, um, and some new material, and some really interesting old stuff that didn't make it into a book, or the book didn't happen for whatever reason. So I have some old projects that are dusting off in there. I have some. There's another hatched. Some new projects that I'm going to tease in there, and I'm planning to collaborate with some of my favorite artists. So we'll share penciling and inking duties, and I'll announce some of them a little bit later. Right now, the Kickstarter is live, so check the comments because I'm about to drop that link in the comments. But if you don't see them, you can go to Kickstarter, just search for Hatched or Ken Lenar, and you will certainly find my work all up over there. Now, I'm coming off two successful Kickstarters that I launched already. I'm really happy about those, but I'm trying to build something here because 2022, the new book that I'm writing should be finished, and I'm looking forward to bringing you something really amazing. Not that this isn't amazing, but this is a stepping stone. It's one part of the empire I'm trying to build. Here's one of the mock-up covers for Hatch. Don't you see it in the corner there? Oh, I loaded it to the wrong place. You hate when I do that. That's okay. I'm gonna split this off and get to drawing. Who wants to listen to me talk forever? Maybe you, if you tuned in. So I'm gonna add this to the stream. Oh, better get rid of that. This is why people have producers. I need a producer to run my tech. There we go. So this is me. This is my hand. This is my pencil, and this will be my art. I'm gonna work on a brand new, never before seen dragon because I have never seen it before. Coming up with it right now on the spot, brand new, and it's going to be infinitely better than this one here. I promise, because this one made me want to cry. To do that, I'm gonna flip this over here. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. I know. All right, team. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. Uh, beg your pardon. It is way too late at night. It's midnight, and I shouldn't be up, but I am because that's what I do. So instead of doing a full body dragon, I'm gonna do a dragon close up, like that one that I often show in the video with the like this. This guy's one of my favorite dragons. I'm picking dragons because they're fun in for a lot of reasons. Not the least of which is you can make up anything you want. They don't have to be. I mean, they're not real. So that's one of the things I think most artists like doing monsters. because you can't get them wrong. You can only make them good or not good, but you can't really get them wrong because there's no laws, there's no rules. So like this guy, I'm giving him some dark squinty eyes. I feel like my dragons get to be a bit wolfy at first. I'm not doing any fire on this guy, and you might notice I'm drawing real roughly in blue so that I can ink over. And the reason, if you don't know that I draw in blue, is because blue, if you scan black and white, doesn't transfer. Sorry, I got a message. Um, Facebook's up. I shouldn't leave Facebook up. Father Zuckerberg's spying on me. So yeah, so if you draw in something like blue, and some artists use red pencil too, but it's easier to remove in post, basically in Photoshop or whatever digital program you're using. It's easy to remove your pencil lines, so you don't have to erase and smudge. And I find that if I'm after I've inked, if I am erasing over my inks, I either smear my inks or the blackness of the ink gets less defined, and that's never good for anybody. I mean, it just looks less black and shabby, and it's got to fix that in Photoshop later anyway. So I'm giving these big wingy ear things. Actually, it looks like I'm making this guy look more like the Abomination. So I'm gonna do some different stuff to differentiate him. Need for him to have some teeth. And then I always liked long forked tongues on my dragons too. I don't know why. I feel like it gives them a little snaky thing. Dragons have scales and all kinds of lizardy or snaky elements to them, so makes them fun for me. This. If I fall off, I'm sorry. It's because my brain works differently when I'm drawing than any other time, and art time doesn't function the way normal time does. No, Bartleby. It's my cat meowing. She wants me to do a bunch of stuff. Probably feed her. More messages coming in. That's all right. I'm skipping them for now. So if I get enough rough blue here, I'm going to start to do a little black. Want this to be a rougher line, so I'm going to go quick at it. It'll be a little wiggly. Comes out rough enough or good enough. I might do some digital inking on it. I don't always decide until a piece is over if I'm going to ink it or color it, because, I mean, it sucks. I'm certainly not going to spend time. As an artist, I think most of my work sucks. There's a fine line between thinking that your work is good enough for the world to see and believing that nothing you do is good enough. It's really a great self deprecating, crippling fear of exposure. I want this to be rough for some reason. Usually I do a smooth corner on the cheek jawline there, but I want this one to be different. I certainly don't want. I've got certain elements to my dragons that I always do, but I don't want these guys to look all the same. I do think he's got to have some flaring wide nostrils because he's going to breathe smoke and fire, and that's going to come out there. So do some of that. I'm using a easy brush tip marker here for the inking. You can do a fine tip if you don't press hard. If you do press hard, you can do a thick line like that. Oh yeah, baby, I like that thick line. I've talked about my dragons before on another video, but if you didn't watch that, One of the things I really like is like a tuft of hair on the chin, and that's because my favorite show as a kid was Puff the Magic Dragon. And so I take a lot of elements from Puff there. One of them is a little chin goatee. I always feel like it's got to have, just got to have. I'm going with a winged fishy earpiece thing going on. I'm about to switch markers though because this isn't giving me enough variety. Oh, let's do the back. So one thing that's weird is I'm drawing at a strange angle because my camera is where my head should be. Like I should be looking straight down on it, but I'm not because there's a camera in the way. So normally I would be looking at it more like this. So I keep having to check that my picture isn't distorted. I'll do one more with this, and then I want to do something with a smaller pen. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna watch the time here. I'm gonna see if I can keep this to under 20 minutes. How long we? 11. Okay, 11 minutes. My first thought was, well, I'll do a dragon in 15 minutes. Then, oh, maybe I'll do a drawing in maybe 20. I like to do fins kind of like this, inspired by Godzilla. Not like Godzilla, but inspired by Godzilla. I know they say that, good artists copy, great artists steal, but I'm always conscious of not trying to completely rip off someone else's intellectual property, especially when I'm doing something that's supposed to be original. And so I'm giving him some lumps. I mean, he should just be kind of weird and grotesque. And the more details you get to do on your monsters, your creatures, your dragons, and the like, not only the more fun it is, but the more interesting it is. I mean, think about the dragons that you've seen in books or toys, model stores, and are they simple? Probably not unless you're talking about a cartoon dragon like Puff or Pete's Dragon or something. Good dragons have lots of detail. Why the teeth? I don't know. Dragon really needs sharp teeth. Can destroy everything else. I've really liked the Game of Thrones designs on their dragons. Not necessarily the show so much toward the end there. Anybody that's seen that, if you haven't seen it, probably heard about it. It's a wicked, weird, unsatisfying ending to a show, much like The Sopranos, which I loved. Sopranos. I need to make sure I'm not drawing off the page. Sometimes I'll draw down here at the bottom, and you won't see it because I forget that I need to keep it in the center of where my phone camera is at. Um, so I imagine the belly of the dragon is much like a snake. So I give him these. There's this underside. It's gonna be a smoother, different color, but ridged so that it's sort of bends. I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like it's going to go from dots, freckles, and speckles to scales. Yep, this guy's got scales. To he's going to have some kind of hair. He's got a hairy chin here. Come on, and I need more hair on that chin. I just decided he's got a little hair problem going on here too. Who knew? Always like a triangular like cat eye kind of thing. With my monsters, my dragon monsters. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get too heavy on the cross hatching. If I start cross hatching, you know it's over. That's where I could get lost. Damn it. Once I start the lines, I don't like to stop. My eyes just start looking around like where's some empty space that needs some lines. But with this, I'm going to do some tone sketches, tone shading at the end. So I'm going to try and stop and not do that. All the inking here is just for the sake of getting the black in, and then the tones will do the rest. Hopefully, when I get to that. For me, detail and texture are everything. I have the most fun when I'm doing stuff like that. And it's, hopefully visually interesting. Like I said, a more ornate dragon is a more interesting dragon. This actually is going to have, this is not going to be because it's a cartoon or a comic book illustration line art style, it's not going to be the most hugely detailed like you would really see in a Game of Thrones type of show or Lord of the Rings movie or even one of those books. So I'm going to put more spikes on the back. They're going to come out of everywhere. Because why wouldn't they? My dragon, I would feel like my dragon is dry, like his skin dry and cracked. He's weathered and rough. He gets, wind beat down on him all the time from flying and whatnot. Okay, I think I should probably cool it now and get to the. Hey, see what I did there? Cool it now. I think I'm gonna get to the tones because I'm at about 17 minutes. All right, this is going over 20, I promise. But why not? Looking at this guy's face. Got some markers here. I can't lie. The cap color lies. So whenever I use one of these things, I usually test it on an area that I know I could go darker on if I wanted to. And then I'm like, cool, that works. Just like I do with my cross hatching, all my shading I do starting lightest and going to darkest because you can always darken it up. You can't always lighten it back up. Totally off the subject. Speaking of, I was talking about getting a convention shut down or canceled. I mean, because of COVID, and not that the event was canceled, but our appearance was canceled between me and a publisher, just because the numbers are concerning, and it's just better to be safe than sorry for right now. One appearance isn't really worth. It's not worth the risk to me and a lot of people right now. You maybe disagree. I'm not going to get into that today. We're not doing a thing. I brought it up because I just got a text from my sister. What up, Sally? Who is apparently watching the movie Outbreak tonight, and uh, that's that was a harsh movie, and a lot of people went ahead and watched that at the beginning of COVID, and it was not a great idea, in my opinion, to get into that and those kind of movies. There was a really good movie on, gosh, I think it was Amazon, or a series called Utopia with Rainn Wilson and John Cusack, all about this end of the world like type of coronavirus of all things, and it came out. It was, of course, written and filmed long before, but it came out right around last year when everybody was in quarantine, when everything was largely shut down. This was during the Tiger King era and that phase, that phase of COVID. And it was so eerie how much it had accurate, with what a coronavirus was and how we would react to it and how we respond to a pandemic. And we really did respond in a very predictable way, sadly. Some of that good, some of that bad. But remember the days of the pandemic when everybody didn't, when we were freaking out over wiping down our groceries? I would put all my groceries on the porch and wipe them down by hand with some wipes until before they'd even enter the house. And I don't necessarily regret that, but I of course don't do that anymore because it just at the time that was the best information I had. Was that like it could be transferred that way, so why take the chance? Information changes and I adapt with it. Now, just being careful, but my family was able to get vaccinated. My daughter, luckily, old enough to be vaccinated. So we are as safe as we can be for now, doing things as carefully as possible, but at least getting back to some sense of real life. Okay, enough about that. This isn't a COVID drawing thing. I'm just kind of thought it rambles. Um, really loving these tone markers. I can do this forever too. It's a lot of fun because you can get a really cool effect just by even sketching with them a little bit. Doesn't have to be very precise. So that one has a really nice tone to it, and it's a little bluish, and I love it. I love it, and it it doesn't go with every other marker that I have here because of the blue tone. So this is see how this is more gray, but I think it adds something neat and different to it. So I'm going to just kind of leave it, and then add this gray to that because I just think it gives you some different definition, a different sense of texture and fun. Oops, I'm smearing. Some thing about these water-based markers is that they might smear your inks, which my black inks are also water-based there, so I better watch that. So I'm just giving these guys a bunch of touches here. I would like to interact more. So if you are watching this video, I know that you might not be watching it live, but if you're watching this video, drop me a link or drop me a line. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you'd like to see. I want to do more drawings that are um, not superheroes. I mean, I love drawing Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Hulk, but I mean, first of all, those are licensed properties, and I don't want to go around trying to spend all my time advertising myself by drawing them. Second of all, it's just more fun to get suggestions and see what you guys want, what you might like to see. So I might draw a monster, an orc, demon, a zombie, whatever you name it. I will try and make it happen. Give me a second. Where is? There we go. So there we go. I'm going over my hatching. I know, but I feel like it's worth it. Gives it a little depth, illusion of depth with this darker tone. Cool thing about gray, man, these gray markers, they just give you all kinds of options for shading. Just in a way that other stuff don't. I'm not a painter, so I don't do a lot with wash. And I feel like this gives me some of that effect though in a fun way. Like this, I don't want to go too dark with this. Yeah, that's not dark enough. So luckily, I never go too dark. So I can always go with a different marker. My inks are solid black, so I don't want too many things to be solid black. Even inside his mouth wouldn't be solid black because there would be, he's wide open, there'd be light in there. Unfortunately, I'm not doing any fire on this one. I love doing a nice fire breathing dragon. Now, because I feel like doing a little shadow on some of these teeth that are deeper in, just so they don't look like so flat. You know, of course you do. You're watching this, you must be a big fan of art. If you've seen any of my videos, you've seen me talk about it. Shading shadows, creating depth where I can. And although I do ramble, it sometimes makes sense. It's fun. I feel like I'm working backwards with this. All right, so as I'm looking at the video there, I'm checking this guy out. That looks pretty legit to me. A couple of things now. Because I got that weird blue tone that I used first, I kind of wanted to do just a hint of blue here and there. Not a lot. Absolutely not a lot. But just enough. Just enough to give it something. A little something. Maybe I'll try and limit it to the scales, like his middle stomach part wouldn't have any. That makes some sense to me. So where's my time at? All right, I'm at 27 minutes. Oh my god, I said 20 minutes, didn't I? All right, guys, this was fun. I am going to put this big piece up, and it will be a surprise reward for one of our backers on the Kickstarter coming soon. And I'll announce that either tomorrow or the next day. And the last thing I always do is, of course, sign my work. So I know it's done because it's signed, and that's how I know Ken has to quit. That's that. This was fun. I hope you didn't hate my ramblings too entirely much. Join me again next time for another Ken's drawing. Look for the Kickstarter Hatched and Illustrated Daydream. That's my baby right now. I'm posting about it several times a day. It's a project I love, and I love making comics. And one of the things that's cool is I get to make more comics and bring them to you, hopefully. Enough about that. Let's kick this guy off. Remove this. And remove this so you can see my pretty face. Thank you. I appreciate you. Last but not least, do something nice. Take care of each other. I think if we're here for anything at all besides to make art, it's to help one another. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Take care. Support Hats.